Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So let's talk Galaxy Note 9 buying alternatives. So there actually are phones that you could purchase outside of the Galaxy Note 9 that are very capable and will definitely give you all the things you need minus the S Pen. So the first thing I would tell you is the Galaxy Note 8. The Galaxy Note 8 is definitely a phone that is a great alternative to the Galaxy Note 9 because it's the previous year's model, and it pretty much falls directly in line with the Galaxy Note 9 minus the stereo speakers. And some think that the battery is so great and there's a big difference, but battery life is subjective. In my experience with the Galaxy Note 9 versus my Galaxy Note 8, the battery life has been pretty much the same. So your battery life experience will be dependent on how you're using your phone. And I've learned firsthand that when you're using a phone, the size of the battery means absolutely nothing if the operating system is not optimized correctly. So the Galaxy Note 8 is the first option that I would tell people to pick up outside of the Galaxy Note 9 for a number of reasons. But one of the main reasons is the price has gone down dramatically. You can get a great deal on a Galaxy Note 8 right now. And internally, it's not that much more in performance, I would say, based on my usage. The Snapdragon 835 with 6 gigs of RAM is more than capable for day-to-day tasks. And this recommendation is for people who really like the Galaxy Note line and you feel like you have to have that S Pen. Now, yes, you don't get the better cameras technically, and you don't get these stereo speakers, and you don't get that 4,000 milliamp hour battery. However, you have to weigh out the options. Do I want to spend $1,000 or $1,250 or $400 to $700 on the Galaxy Note 8? This is the time to buy the Galaxy Note 8. Trust me. Now, another alternative is the Galaxy S9 Plus. Now, this comes for people who just really like Samsung. Now, my recommendation, if you were on the fence about buying the Galaxy Note 9 and you were considering a lot of options, well, the Galaxy S9 Plus, you get the stereo speakers, you get a big battery. Now, again, minus, you don't have the S Pen. So, but the S Pen suite, it is great. But some people I've found, they never had a Galaxy Note before and they jumped straight to the Galaxy Note 9. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. However, there are alternatives that can save you a ton of money. So Samsung does have the Galaxy Note 9 in a 512 model, but that costs $1,250. And then the 128 gig model costs $999. You can grab a 256 gig Galaxy S9 Plus or a Galaxy S9 for under 900 bucks. So I think this is a great alternative. You still get that beautiful screen. You get those Samsung features that you love so much. And I think you'll find out that the battery life, in my experience, it was actually really good on the Galaxy S9 Plus and fantastic on the Galaxy S9. So I think the Galaxy S9 Plus and the Galaxy S9 are great options right now. You could save a ton of money by going this route, especially with the Galaxy S9 Plus. I think I found the Galaxy S9 Plus, it's on sale everywhere right now for $100 off minimum. Some places have it for $200 off. So you could possibly get the Galaxy S9 Plus for a great deal in the 256 gig model. So do your research and check around. And that's for all you Samsung fans out there who don't want to leave Samsung Experience or TouchWiz or just that Samsung ecosystem that they have going on there. I really like the Samsung devices and I don't have a problem with their skin. I just think it's a little too heavy in some situations, and it definitely hinders the battery life on my Galaxy Note 9. So the last alternative is probably going to come as a shock to you. And I call it the last because these are just a few that I picked out after weighing out. Now, mind you, this is just my recommendations. You don't have to follow this. Well, there's two other alternatives, because some people who look at the Galaxy Note 9, some people won't even use the S Pen suite like they think they will. And in most cases, none of us are using this 8 gig, 6 gig. We're not using these phones to the full potential that they could possibly be used for. So with that being said, I would definitely recommend you grab a OnePlus 6, because the OnePlus 6 is giving you, once again, a lot for your money. And for sure, you are going to get better battery life on the OnePlus 6. Now, the OnePlus 6T is coming, so I don't know if there's going to be a price decrease on the OnePlus 6. I really doubt it. So I can throw in the OnePlus 6T. At the recording of this video, I can throw that in there because it's getting ready to launch in the next month or so. So this will give you some options to weigh out whether you want to wait or not. However, the OnePlus 6T has pretty much all the internals of the Galaxy Note 9 and more. There are a lot of phones out there that have a Snapdragon 845 in there and a Snapdragon 835, and they're going to perform just as good, if not better, than the Galaxy Note 9, because optimization is important. And when you start to lean more towards stock Android, you really start to get great optimization. Now, some people would say that the Pixel phones should be thrown in there too. Well, I didn't own the Pixel phone long enough, but I hear people say great things about the camera, and I also hear people say that the camera on the Pixel 2 XL is much better than the Galaxy Note 9, so I have to take your word for that. Now, one last phone, now I gotta say last now, because I could go on and on about alternatives for the Galaxy Note 9, but one phone that you might be surprised to hear me say this is the LG G7 ThinQ or Think or whatever. That phone right there has great potential. And I think it's getting overlooked because of all the marketing that you see from the other companies. You'll see footage on the spoiler. You'll probably see some footage on the LG G7 from me because I feel like it's a shame that we say that the LG G7 isn't worth $750 or $850 or whatever. But when you think about this, it's just a matter of what you prefer. And I think most of the tech world does not prefer LG skin. I have to admit, it's a little clunky at times, but I absolutely love the V30. Only thing I didn't like was the front camera and the price. I love all of my only phone that I didn't really care for the most was the Stylo 4. And it wasn't a bad phone. It just got further and further downhill the more I used it. However, the G7, the G6, all of the LG devices that I've used, the first thing that people talked about, because LG got a bad rap for them changing the price on it, just like that 2 weeks after launch when that happened to us. That happened to everybody back when that G6 launched and the G5, and it was very frustrating. However, when that happens, it means to me that they don't believe in their product. You know, if you're going to push out these high prices on these phones, and you're right in line with every other flagship internally, you just need to now separate yourself and highlight what's on that phone. And I can more than guarantee and certainly guarantee you that the LG G7's cameras, they record in 4K at 60 FPS too, after the last update. That phone you can grab it for under $500 through Project Fi. And you don't have to keep Project Fi. You just activate the service within 30 days, use it, turn it off. You got the phone for $400. But that's not the reason of the recommendation. The recommendation comes because that phone has these same internals pretty much as the Galaxy Note 9. So performance-wise, and I can say this, the LG skin is much lighter in performance in my experience than the Samsung skin. And I think if you don't like a skin, the great part about Android is you can actually just take it off. You can decide to just put a different launcher on there if you want to. The G7, I've learned, has been a phone that's gotten overlooked big time, even by me. But I'm going to tell you that I'll be giving you some footage on the G7, and I got to tell you, the G7 is an impressive phone. In my hands-on time with it, it's an impressive phone. I mean, the Samsung cameras are good, but LG does the best wide-angle shot. Their footage, their DAC, their stereo, the speakers on there, impressive. And if you've never put them side by side, I really think you should. I think you'd be hard pressed, and some people might even be in denial to say that LG's DAC is not better than the Samsung sound setup, because you know they're tuned by AKG on the Samsung, so the device is supposed to have this great sound system. But in my experience, I tweaked my Galaxy Note 9 in the Dolby settings, and it is very loud. It is very loud, but loud doesn't always mean great quality. I actually think the Galaxy S9 speakers, S9 Plus speakers, probably sound a hair better than the Galaxy Note 9 speakers. Don't shoot me. But the LG G7, ThinQ, Think, whatever, do yourself a favor and go out on the internet and start looking at some of these reviews that some reviewers put out. It's like people want to like the phone, but they can't say that they really like the phone because, yeah, I think, you know, I'm glad that I do reviews and purchase my phones and get them and try to give you my perspective on it, because I think that I made a mistake by overlooking the G7. Because I remember when the G7 first came out, I was so upset about my purchase with the G6 where they took all the money off right after I bought it. I just didn't give them a second look. However, I made a mistake, and I will rectify that mistake. I got some good devices coming in, guys. I also have another alternative to the Galaxy Note 9 that is going to be here probably in about 3 weeks or so. On Twitter, I tweeted out that I had made a purchase finally, and some people said it was the Poco phone. Listen, folks, I'm not getting the Poco phone. I'm not interested in the Poco phone because I'm just not interested in it. I'm tired of hearing about the Poco phone. There's really nothing that impressive about the Poco phone when you compare it to all the other phones that are already here with the same internals. It looks just like my G7. It looks just like my Asus Zenfone. you see what I'm getting at? I don't know why I would want to just run out and grab this phone right here. I'm not saying that it's a bad phone. I'm just not getting it at this point. Even though it's $300, I don't want to spend the money on it because I feel like I would just be the redundancy of that review would mirror pretty much everyone else's review, and I just don't have time for it. However, I do have a phone that's coming, and it is fire. This phone has been reviewed by other people, but I decided to spend my money and get it because it's real innovation. And that's all that I'm going to say about that. So if you hung around for this video, I appreciate it, man. Those are a few alternatives to the Galaxy Note 9. Some of you guys have asked me this, you know, why would I spend the money on this? Well, you don't have to, because there are plenty of other phones out there that are well worth purchasing. And this isn't to say that the Galaxy Note 9 is a bad phone. It's just that if I'm the only one saying it, I'll tell you your other options. It's your man, Jay Will. I'll see you guys in the next video. You know what I got to do?